Start 2025 strong with a vision retreat for your marriage. Let's set up your marriage for success with the blueprints of marriage. If you want to succeed in 2025, stick around. Okay, so we have 9 simple steps for you to start taking to prepare for 2025. We're going to go more into this in January, especially as everybody's setting goals, want healthier life, better spiritual life, better marriage, all the different things, right?
Yeah.
But here's things to get you to start thinking so you're just not like, okay, where do I start?
Right.
Get this going now, okay?
Yep.
So one of the things to prepare for is, number 1, getting away. Like start planning. We already talked about that. It could be a marriage conference, and then at night you're focusing on this. But even when it comes to the blueprints of marriage that Krissy wrote, that ebook that's going to be available, you really need to get away with your spouse to work on it,
right?
Because it's a workbook. Mm-hmm. It's really finding out how do we build the marriage of our dreams, the blueprints, right? Mm-hmm. You can't do that with work in the way, with kids in the way, with all the house. Because here's the thing, even you're like, oh well, I don't have kids, but we're gonna stay at home. But at home, you see the messes that need to be cleaned up, right? You see the living room that needs to be painted. You see the yard that needs to be manicured and taken care of. Like, yeah, you want to get away. You do. And if you don't have money, ask a friend that has a lake house if you can stay there for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. Just start planning, thinking. Maybe you have some points saved up from a credit card. Go to a hotel. Yeah. Maybe somebody's going to get you an Airbnb gift card for Christmas. Start planning that kind of stuff out. Yep. And here's 3 things that you want to start preparing yourself to think about when you're on your getaway, okay? And again, if it's just one night getaway, awesome. We really think it needs to be a 3-day getaway. To be like really good, thought out, like to really have a plan. Yes. Yeah. And that doesn't mean you're just working on it the whole 3 days. It's like when we do ours, we work on our vision for the first half of the day. And the second half of the day, we're just having fun. Mm-hmm. We're just naked. Oh, we're not. All the guys are like, okay, sign me up. I'm there. Okay. You want to reflect on your past. Okay. What did this past year look like? What were the wins? What were the losses? What do you want to keep doing? What do you want to remove? Okay. So start thinking about that. And again, we're going to go deeper into this in the future. You want to talk about your desires. Mm-hmm. What are your desires? Start dreaming together. 100%. What does it look like? Does it look like buying a house? Does it look like paying off debt? Like, what is that? I love what you just said, dreaming together. Because too many times in marriage, we don't really dream. We're just stressed out. We're trying to just make it through. That's it. Like, dream about this. Talk about those desires. And then, okay, identify key areas. And here are some key areas to think about. Your spiritual life, relationships, finances, personal growth, your family. Like when you can focus on those 5 things and being specific, okay? Like, so think about this. Talking about what we just said. How was last year with spiritual life? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it existent? Was it non-existent? Was it flaky? Went with my emotions, very up and down? Yeah. So what was good that I want to keep doing? Maybe you started developing a pattern in reading the Bible, but you only went to church once a month because you were tired on Sundays or something came up. Kids were in T-ball or whatever. So now you want to reflect, okay, what do I need to change? Because I want us to be in church every Sunday. Well, maybe Timmy doesn't play T-ball this year. Yeah. Maybe he does, but on Saturdays. So you have to look ahead, like, what do I want to grow in? How am I going to change this? Relationally, are you planning date nights? Mm-hmm. Are you planning getaways? Are you planning for the married life cruise? Are you serving together? Are you reading the Bible together? Finances. Yeah. Are you budgeting? Are you paying off debt? Like, again, dreaming, how was this past year? Did we go further in debt? And then dreaming, do I want to be out of debt? What does that look like? What do we have to give up? Mm-hmm. Do we need to cut Netflix? Do we need to cut Hulu? Do we need to cut these expenses that we don't really need because we want to get out of debt? So again, start thinking about this kind of stuff. Yep. You want to be specific. Mm-hmm. You want to define clear and measurable goals. If you just say, I just want to lose weight, is that just a pound? Nailed it, right? Success. Yeah. But you're like, no, I want to get back to this goal weight of 180, 170, 140, whatever it is. I want to wear this size pants, mm-hmm. this size shirt, right? I want to feel like you're setting measurable goals, you know? You have to do the same thing in for a healthy 2025. Measurable goals, because you don't want to get to the end of 2025 and be like, did I hit it? Did I not hit it?
Did I not?
No,
right.
If the goal was getting out of debt, did you get out of debt? You know? But here's the thing. How much debt? And how much are you paying off a month?
What's practical?
Right.
With our budget, how much can we actually get out of debt? Is it reasonable? Is it doable? Can we,
Yes. So there is, and you can Google this, but we're going to go deeper into it next month or our next podcast. SMART goals. Okay. SMART stands for this: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That's a SMART goal. Okay. Especially the time bound.
Right.
Because if you're like, oh yeah, I want to lose, again, I'm going to be specific. I want to lose 15 pounds, but you don't set a time, like in 5 years and 15 years, so a pound a year.
Yeah.
So anyways, we'll get more into that. Creating a plan.
Yeah.
This part, I think, is where people
get stuck.
Why do you think that is?
Because they don't know how to do it.
Yep.
And I think people overcomplicate it.
For sure.
They overcomplicate it. And when it becomes overcomplicated, it feels unachievable and unattainable.
Yep.
Because we're all busy. We've all got a million things to do. And if again, it goes back to the goals. They have to be SMART goals. So they have to be specific. But when you create a plan, what you're really doing is creating small disciplines within your life that are going to achieve that plan. Okay, I'm not going to create this big, huge, elaborate thing, but honestly, it's not practical in my life. And so I think that's where people get tripped up of creating.
Yep.
It's like too big for them to imagine.
Yep.
And they don't take time to actually do it.
Yes.
When you actually think about what you want to do, how you're going to do it, it's really not that complicated.
Right. Yep. And I'm going to give you a tip. Use AI. Use ChatGPT, use Google Gemini.
There's really no excuse.
There isn't. Like, you could put in, again, we're going to break down, maybe we'll do that in a video. Maybe I'll nerd out and make a video for you how to use AI and put your SMART list in AI to help you build out a plan. Because this is how simple it is. Okay, I'm going to share with you guys. I use AI every day. Today, my 27-year-old daughter, we have an adopted daughter. She's 27. She's great with social media. She's great with content creating, great with video editing, graphics, everything. And right now she's just working a blog job. And so I asked her, I'm like, well, have you thought about doing that again? Because she used to do it. Her problem is that she did it without putting any boundaries on it. So it's like if somebody wanted a graphic, they would have a million revisions, right? And she wouldn't get paid extra for any of those revisions.
Right.
So she's working all this extra time. By the time she does that, she actually didn't make any money because it took so long. So anyways, I literally typed out what she told me and I put it in ChatGPT. I said, my daughter's trying to do some stuff with creative, trying to, make some graphics. How much should she charge? How much should each revision be? How many revisions should she be for free? Blah, blah. Hit enter. And I mean, it gave me a book. I copied and pasted it to her. I said, this is what ChatGPT said.
Yeah.
Because that's her plan. Mm-hmm. And if she's like, oh, well, I didn't like this. Well, then you just type that back in there. You know what? I actually don't like that because I live in the Midwest. So I don't think people are going to pay that much. What's the going rate? Asking ChatGPT in the Midwest, right? So using it, brainstorming with it. Again, we'll get into that in the future to help you create a plan. Okay. This is important too. Schedule check-ins. Let me tell you something. You know what I do every Monday at the gym? I step on the scale. Today, a guy came up to me because it's the holiday season. It's Christmas season. Everybody's eating a lot. And he said, bro, I don't want to do what you're doing until like February. Mm-hmm. I said, I have to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Because I want to see results, even because I know I'm not eating as healthy as I normally eat. At lunch day, I was having leftover cheesecake. You know what I mean? Like, that just tells you. But I want to have those check-ins to actually see where I'm at. Strength-wise, muscle-wise, fat-wise, weight-wise, all the things, right?
Yeah.
Schedule check-ins with your spouse. How are we doing financially? How are we doing relationally? How are we doing with hanging out with other people? How are we doing spiritually? You know what I mean? Check-ins. Anyways, pray together. This is such a huge one when it comes to 2025. You might have an idea. Your spouse might have an idea. but what's God's idea? Are you praying together, asking God, Lord, why did you put us together? What are you calling us to in 2025? What gifting have you given us that we aren't actually walking in right now, that we're not doing right now, that you've put a desire in our hearts, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe it is get out of debt in 2025. So in 2026, you can go on that mission trips you always want to go on, or you can adopt that child, whatever it is. I'm just using examples. So sometimes we think, oh, well, I want the big thing in 2025, but actually 2025 might be setting up all the little things for that big thing in 2026 or 2027.
Yeah.
We have to play the long game.
Yeah.
Looking ahead.
That's good.
And the last thing, celebrate wins.
Yeah.
If you pay off the credit card that's $1,000, celebrate that.
Celebrate it.
Eat some cheesecake for lunch. Celebrate that win.
Yeah.
Because that happens. Sometimes we get so goal focused that we don't celebrate. You know? It's like, listen, when teams win the national championship, when they win the Super Bowl, like they're going to Disney World, right?
Yeah.
Like they're holding that trophy, there's praise, like celebrate. Celebrate good. Celebrate with your boo. Do you want to unlock a more fulfilling sex life? Grab our 34-question guide and unlock deeper intimacy. You can ignite passion and create lasting connection. Grab it today.